So adulting in the 21st century is an extreme sport. Just staying alive from day to day feels like you're performing miracles every day, And the bad news is that none of us gets out alive. But the good news, which is the substance of today's video, is that what if I told you that there is an extra source of information, that is available to man, but is not known by many people, and those who do know about it are able to figure their way through this jungle called life. And today's video is all about that extra secret source of information. So about 12 years ago, I was in the valley of decision. And so I was a very celebrated fashion photographer. So I was well known, in the fashion circles as being a very gifted and talented photographer. And so at this particular point in time, I felt in my heart God telling me that to ditch fashion photography for a very unknown genre of photography that was called wedding. Fairly unknown. It was just picking up. It wasn't very, very known. Fashion was a thing because everybody was thinking about fashion. Fashion industry was the buzzword of the day, And so I'm here contemplating, what do I do? As in, do I leave this genre of photography that I'm very well known for, and do I now venture into a fairly unknown, fairly small market genre of wedding photography? And so I listened to God and I obeyed God, and some weeks later, I just went on my Facebook page and I posted and I said that I'm no longer doing fashion photography. Now I want to completely and entirely focus on wedding photography. At that particular point in time, people thought that that was a suicide career decision, that I was jeopardizing my whole life. Here I was, I'm a fairly successful fashion photographer, and then I'm here ditching it for a genre that I had no idea what to do about. And so I began learning YouTube University, shadowing fellow photographers as I began to learn the ins and outs of wedding photography. Little did I know, in a few years' time, the fashion photography industry will diminish to fairly what wedding photography was then, to a very, very small industry, while the wedding industry now will blow up and become a multi-billion-dollar industry, But then, if it was only about me and only about my scope of knowledge or information, then I will stick to fashion photography, not knowing that in the near future, that wedding photography will become now the in thing, will become now the giant when it came to photography. And so today I want to read for you a verse that I've read over the years, and today just God brought it in a new light. And I just like the way God just brings something that you've read over and over again, but He brings it in a new light depending on the situation that you are in. And so allow me to read it from Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. I shall read from the New King James Version. It says this: trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your path. A pretty simple portion of scripture. And it begins by saying, trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And for the Lord, as it ends, for the Lord to direct your steps, the first step in that journey is trust. And trusting means letting go of your control and letting someone else make the decision for you. So I'm a big fan of watching aircraft disaster, aircraft crash investigations on YouTube. And so one time I watched one whereby the investigators, after the crash had happened, when they came up with their preliminary report, they said that the source of the crash was that the pilot overrode the autopilot and he took control by his own self, and that led to the plane crashing. Yeah, which is very interesting because the planes were built over the years to run perfectly on autopilot, but this pilot, for one reason or the other, he grabbed the controls, the joystick, and he began he began driving the plane by himself, which the investigators say that led to the crash of the airplane because the pilot did not trust this autopilot. For that, I think they were going through turbulence or something, that he trusted his own training, his own instinct, his own knowledge, and he overrode the autopilot that finally led to the crashing of the plane and killing so many people. And so this is the same way about trusting in God. You know, all of us, we are pilots, we are trained, we have experience, we have knowledge, we've gone through school, have read. But then God is here. I'm calling the autopilot, you know. God is here, the supreme pilot, so to say. God is here, the all-knowing pilot. And God is telling you, Ben, I want you to let go controls of your life and let me run the plane of your life. And all of us are like, no, God, you will run aground. God, you crash. God, I don't trust you. God, I trust myself. That's why Solomon goes and says, and lean not on your own understanding. And there's something about our own understanding that no matter how knowledgeable it is, no matter how much experience it is, our understanding is based on the past. Remember that, guys. Our understanding is always based on the past, while God's understanding is based on the past, the present, and the future, which we cannot access as mortals because we are limited in our understanding. But God, because He is all-knowing, God is able to see 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And so for me, being a wedding photographer and saying, no, God, wedding photographer is the in thing. There's so much money, so much work, so much business. God is saying, no, I can see the future. And I see a future whereby wedding photography will be so big that it will be able to earn you a more than decent living. And because my understanding was limited to the present and the past, I wasn't able to understand. But when I said, God, I don't understand, but God, I trust you. And I followed God's direction from my trust in Him. That's why the Bible ends by saying, and He shall direct your path. That this new source of information, that is godly knowledge, you know, that God can give you, like the way in the stock market, there are people who have insider information and they know that, man, in the near future, this company is going to be sold. And so they are able to, with that information, they're able to make decisions now to benefit them, you know. And that's the same way that Proverbs 3 gives us an insider scoop, an insider information that you can know that God knows this is going to happen in the future. And God says, because I can foresee it, I will give you direction today to implement that so that when the future comes, you are better prepared than the rest of the masses. You understand? And so this direction from God is extremely important because we live in a world that is a jungle. We are all walking blind. The Bible says blind leading blind. We are all stumbling blind in the jungle, you know, trying to find our way. And God here is saying, Ben, listen to me. I can direct you. I can show you where to go because from my point of view, I can be able to see the future. I can be able to see that ahead of you there's a lion. So I will change your path. Or ahead of you there's an opening, you know, and you can run fast. I can be able to direct you because I have insider information. And God is saying, Ben, for me to give you this, then you have to trust in me. You have to trust in my voice. You have to listen to me and you have to obey me. Even though whatever it is that I'm telling you is so crazy or counter, you know. And as I end this video, I'd like to give you guys this secret that that God is available for all of us. And this insider information is not just for a few, but it's for all of us. And God says, Ben, I am willing to direct you. I am willing to show you the way. You just have to trust me. And so, guys, I want you to go and ask God to give you insider information, to direct your path, to show you which way to go. And God is going to show you. And as I end, it says, in all your ways, acknowledge Him. That means in all your ways, surrender to Him. Let Him, give Him chance, give Him space, and let Him direct your path. Let Him lead you to the way that He knows best. Because at the end of the day, our wisdom, our knowledge, our understanding, no matter how wonderful it is always based on the past. Till next time, guys. God bless.